Monday, May 22, the wine of the wrath. Read Revelation chapter 17, verses 1, 2 and 15, and Revelation 18, verses 1 through to 4. How extensive is Babylon's influence? Revelation 17, verses 1 and 2. Then one of the seven angels who had the seven bowls came and talked with me, saying to me, Come, I will show you the judgment of the great harlot who sits on many waters, with whom the kings of the earth committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth were made drunk with the wine of her fornication. And verse 15, Then he said to me, The waters which you saw, where the harlot sits, are peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues. And Revelation 18, beginning at verse 1. After these things I saw another angel coming down from heaven, having great authority, and the earth was illuminated with his glory. And he cried mightily with a loud voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become a dwelling place of demons, a prison for every foul spirit, and a cage for every unclean and hated bird. For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. The kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth have become rich through the abundance of her luxury. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, lest you share in her sins, and lest you receive of her plagues. The fallen church system has an international reach, influencing people around the world with her deceptions. Satan is enraged that the gospel will be proclaimed to every nation, tribe, tongue, and people, and that this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world. So he employs every possible deception to capture the minds of the inhabitants of the earth. As we read in Revelation 14, verse 6, Then I saw another angel flying in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach to those who dwell on the earth, to every nation, tribe, tongue, and people. And Matthew 24:14, And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world as a witness to all the nations, and then the end will come. And Revelation 17, verse 2, With whom the kings of the earth committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth were made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Revelation 2 continues its explanation of the mystery of Babylon the Great by declaring that she has committed fornication with the kings of the earth. What is fornication? It's an illicit union. It is the fallen church system uniting with the state. In the true church system, the church is united with Jesus Christ. The fallen church looks to the political leaders of the earth for power and authority. It seeks the state to enforce its decrees. Rather than drawing her strength from Jesus as her true head, she looks to the state for support. Revelation 17, verse 2 continues its dramatic portrayal, And the inhabitants of the earth were made drunk with the wine of her fornication. The symbolism of the pure juice of the grape is used throughout the New Testament to represent the untainted pure blood of Christ poured out for our salvation on the cross, as we see described in Matthew 26, 27-29. Then he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, Drink from it, all of you, for this is my blood of the new covenant, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. But I say to you, I will not drink of this fruit of the vine from now on until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. In Luke 22:20, Jesus says, This cup is the new covenant in my blood. When the pure new wine of the gospel is distorted and the teachings of the word of God are replaced with the teachings of human religious leaders, it becomes the wine of Babylon. We read in Matthew 15, verse 9, And in vain they worship me, teaching as doctrines the commandments of men. Notice, too, that God calls his people out of Babylon. In other words, no matter how corrupt and evil the system is, its reach is so wide that it encompasses, at least for a certain time, his faithful ones, or my people, as it says in Revelation 18, verse 4, as he calls them. Yet the time is coming when God will call them out of that corrupt and evil system which is about to fall because of its corrupt and evil nature, this dwelling place of demons and cage of every unclean and hated bird, as it says in Revelation 18 verse 2. And so to finish today, what role do those who proclaim the three angels' messages have in being used by God to call my people, his people, out of Babylon? This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind. Sponsored by the Sabbath School Department and distributed through Hope Channel Australia, this podcast is also redistributed by Hope Channel Germany, Christian Record Services for the Blind. It is also available on SoundCloud and through multiple podcast distributors, including Apple iTunes. And you can listen and watch at the same time on YouTube. Remember, God is always faithful.